All right, we're live. Live
I can't.
and on the air. Can you hear me?
God. I got an ad.
Okay.
Alright, it does sound like I can hear you.
All right. I don't know how much the ads affect things. I told YouTube that I could be in charge of placing ads, but not to put very many in. So we'll see how that goes. Might grab my ring light real quick, just because everything looks a little bit different than I like it. All right, the ring light is now right in my face. So I will go blind. It'll be great. I don't know if that actually really helped all that much, honestly. All right, hey, we got one person.
We have 5 people watching.
5? My thing only says 3. Oh,
yeah,
no.
It just went up.
It just jumped for me as well.
All right, Eric, the great question of the hour. What is the theme?
The theme this time was our ferrets with their favorite things. And then once I got through the ferrets, because I have a few extras, then we can have our usual unhinged suggestions. So it's a little bit like less exciting maybe, although to mix things up, I realized far too late that I only have 2 postcards left. So I'm going to use those up. And then some people are just getting regular cards. My drawing on the inside.
Julian, you need to be more of the heart of the developer. This isn't a bug. This is a feature. This isn't an accident that we only had 2 cards left. We planned special cards to send out to a select few.
Special edition,
yes.
Limited edition cards no one else will have. And also Giorgio. So let's get started with the regular postcards. And I was just thinking we could go in order of age for the ferrets. So starting with Lan as our senior gentleman of the group.
And his favorite things are naps, beds, snuggles, blankets.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to draw him asleep. That's the Lan situation.
So we only have 5 ferrets. How many postcards are you doing today?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 postcards.
8 postcards. So we have 3 ideas that are up for grabs for those of you who wish to start feeding wild and wacky suggestions. Hello, Kat, and hello again, cursed content. Welcome all.
Welcome back to the
Firelight shall be renewing some of their unhinged ideas from previous sessions.
Gotta make use of them somehow. Gotta recycle those bad boys.
Firelight comments that they think it's very funny to think of a ferret trying to steal a bed. I'm fairly certain several of our ferrets have attempted to steal the dog's bed.
Oh, they definitely, like, if by steal you mean completely take over, when the dog's bed, when we first got her bed for Christmas, the ferrets were just all about that thing.
You know, we could get them their own giant ferret bed.
It's true. They prefer, like, their favorite thing to sleep in is the cat carrier in their room. Like, they like things to be small and cave-like.
We could build a giant fluffy cave on top of their giant fluffy bed. Cat mentions that our ferret Lan sounds a lot like their cat.
He's an old man, which is the only reason that ferrets ever slow down.
I mean, not the only. They also slow down when they sleep. They sleep and go.
Yep. So Lan is more sleep than go now.
We're now to 7 watching, in addition to 3 ideas that we will need after our 5 themed ferret ones.
Trying to draw Lan and... Sorry, go ahead, Adam.
If you want to throw, basically, I should ping Julian as to what authority you have as a chat, but if you would like to suggest or make arguments for their next read along or another video topic.
I don't know what the next read along is going to be. I was hoping that maybe there would be a new Jenna Moresi book by now, but it looks like that one is still going to be in the works for a while, so we shall have to make do with something else. And I'm probably not going to read the second Fourth Wing book right away as a read along for various reasons, one of which is that it sounds like it's really long and really boring. And like reading a boring book as a read along, like there's only so many ways I can say that this is boring. Say what you will for the unhinged levels of Nightbane, it's not boring. But we just have to wait like 10 minutes for a new TikTok darling to appear on the horizon.
You could perhaps delve into someone's fanfic or archive of our own and try to find a good one so you can praise it and be like, this is so much better than the published BS I have to read.
Just take everybody to my own fanfic very subtly. You're like, gosh, this is so good. I don't read a lot of fanfic anymore, not because I dislike it, because I just don't have time. All right, well, this ferret is certainly a ferret, but it doesn't look exactly like Lan. I think I'm going to probably have trouble capturing the likenesses.
Unfortunate.
It will have the markings. It'll have the correct markings for all of them, but...
Cursed content does suggest that perhaps as your 6th postcard, you do all 5 ferrets stacked in a trench coat, pretending to be a person.
Here's the thing about ferrets, though. They don't gotta pretend to be a person. Like, ferrets have the complete confidence that they do not need to even disguise themselves as a person. They will walk into an establishment as ferrets and just own the place.
Firelight mentions in response that I will now begin my critique of my Corsica fanfic.
I don't know what that is.
In reference
to... Cosima.
Oh, Cosima?
Cosima.
Mm.
Or Cosima, I think might be how it's pronounced. But...
Shit corrected.
I cannot get this foot right. It'd be done already if I could get this one foot to cooperate.
From our earlier conversation, Firelight was actually picturing a ferret trying to steal a human bed, like struggling with a blanket. But the reality is they wouldn't struggle with a blanket. They would get the blanket.
I could definitely see a ferret attempting to steal a human bed because they do possess a huge amount of overconfidence. So I could definitely see them trying to just like struggle that thing across the floor, and some maybe even succeed if the bed had wheels.
Welcome, Zaire. Welcome, MK.
All right. Well, it's not my best work ever, but here's our first one of a happy sleepy ferret in honor of Lan. And he's doing what I call the prayer pose, although other people have different names for it. But it's a really common ferret sleep position, and they got one foot tucked up and they got one foot thrown way up like this. I don't know why they do that, but like most of the time you go in the room, at least one ferret is in that pose. All right, number 2 is Moraine. Now, Moraine, I already have art of Moraine up on my Redbubble where she's holding an X-Acto knife, because if you know Moraine, you know that she likes weapons. And I'm not even kidding. I'm not even saying that for the internet. She likes weapons. I have a short somewhere of her getting really excited because Adam had a sword and he put like the sword on the floor, and all the other ferrets were like, oh, okay, whatever. And Moraine was like, oh, this is the best day ever. And then she tried to grab the sword by the hilt and drag it away. So she's just really into weapons. But if you want the Moraine X-Acto knife one, it is on Redbubble.
Hello, Ribbon. Welcome. Ribbon Quest mentions that Moraine is a relatable ferret.
I mean, who doesn't love weapons? All right. Maybe I will draw Moraine less in a realistic way and more in like an adventurer kind of way, you know, with a sword.
So catching up a little bit on the chat, Firelight still wants you to do a read along of The Cabin.
I keep putting it in the votes, but it never gets chosen.
So Firelight, you have to lure more people to the channel to vote for you, or just create some sock puppet accounts to do it, or comment on some of the videos to encourage other people to vote for it. From a much earlier comment, Cursed Content replies that Iron Flame sure wasn't unhinged, but it wasn't exactly boring. It at least had me going, God damn it, a lot.
From what I heard, and this is just like I haven't been avoiding spoilers for it, but even the videos I've watched, they seem to be struggling to find things to talk about, because it seems like the entire first half is just Xaden and Violet not communicating and then having sex, and then the second half, question mark plot. Like, I don't know. I think it would be really tough to make an interesting read along out of it.
Oh, it looks like Cat misplaced their time and had to jet, but thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining. I'm sorry that you could not stay for the whole thing. You can always watch later.
Iron Flame sounds like it fizzled from the few I've watched.
I mean, already it would have been struggling, because once again we have a romance writer trying to write fantasy for the very first time, but also the turnaround that they expected from her on this book is ridiculous. And even the author is like, okay, I'm not doing that again. I'm not writing another book that fast, even if it is like just basically she hands the draft to the publisher and they're like, good, print it.
Cursed Content comments along Iron Flame that they don't remember much right now, but it sure is there.
It certainly was one of the books of all time.
All right, skipping back a little bit. Cursed Content, again, with the 5 ferrets in a trench coat. What if the ferrets want to go on ride a roller coaster and they're too short to ride?
They don't care. They don't care. I mean, try to stop. Like, can you imagine the person trying to stop them getting onto the roller coaster?
I mean, that's why they get in the trench coat, though.
They would have to, like, they just scamper onto the roller coaster, and the person, and then they refuse to get off, and they would be way too slippery and squiggly for the person to get them off. So eventually the person would have to just give up and let them ride the roller coaster.
Hello, MK. I can't remember if I've greeted you yet. One of their earlier comments is they feel like taking terrible characters from the read-alongs and trying to make them good would be a fun video. So maybe a rewritten sample of how an interaction with them and some suggestions and recommendations of how they can be a good character.
So many of them would just be like, give them a personality. Besides horny.
Yeah, you definitely need some depth to that. Cat Endless does recommend for a read along. How about something by Colleen Hoover?
I did have a Colleen Hoover. There's pretty much only one Colleen Hoover that I even think I'd be willing to read. And that is Verity, and that's because I already know what happens and it sounds unhinged, so like that could be fun. But it did not win the last vote. Fourth Wing won the vote that one was in, I think. So I don't know if I'll put it back in. I'll have to go back and see like how well it did in that vote to see if it's like worth it to think about putting it back in.
Cursed content engines. Honestly, the power to steal the spotlight from Nightbane on release day and then crash and burn is simply delightful.
Like, yeah, nobody remembered that Nightbane existed with the second Fourth Wing book coming out. I don't even know if they're going to get a book 3. Like, it really depends on how much the publishers feel like honoring their contracts. Honestly, like, my understanding is if your books don't make enough money, they can cancel you at any point during this series. So you could write a terrible book 2 and they could be like, nope, never mind. So Alex Astor could be without a publisher, without an agent again, any old time.
All right, we are up to 9 viewers now.
9 viewers.
Zaire asked which one was Iron Flame, but we did get an answer from, what was it, Firelight? No, Cursed Content. Iron Flame is Fourth Wing 2. Back on our favorite convo, Ribbon Quest suggests that one of the ferrets hits the roller coaster switch and then hops back on real quick.
Yep, I could see that happening. While the other ferrets are running around from car to car, distracting the guy. And then the guy ends up having to ride the roller coaster as well because he's stuck on there trying to get ferrets off. And it's just a whole thing.
On the canceling anytime, even if you have a great book 2 in the series, if no one reads it, if they don't make their sales, they're still willing to cancel.
Yep. Publishers don't care about you. Which, I mean, is anyone surprised? They're just trying to make money.
Cursed Content says, oh, I know everybody forgot Nightbane. I'm mostly talking about how I'm sure it made Alster mad and seeing how she puts people she doesn't like in her books.
Wait for if it gets a book 3, there's going to be, like, I don't think she would put Rebecca Yarros completely, but I bet you there's a Violet character, and the character named Violet is a bad person. I'm just mad that Astor doubled down on Cleo being a villain when it was like would have been so easy for her to like turn out to be like a cool person. But no, if a woman is mean to precious baby Isla, then that woman is bad forever and couldn't have any reason for doing that.
Cursed Content suggests Violet is her ancestor. Is Isla's ancestor.
Yeah. There is a dragon coming up in the read-along of Nightbane. It's stupid,
Alright.
but it is.
Curse Content wants me to make clear that actually that is canon. Violet is a character named Angie, nicknamed Angie. Angie. And it is the ancestor of Islas. That's actually canon.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, no, they wrote Violet in officially, as Angie, a historical character who is Isla's ancestor.
I don't remember that character, but then again, this is Nightbane we're talking about, so why would I remember any? There were 8,000 characters that had totally been there the whole time.
Violet was the character that Aurora killed and started the curses in book 1.
Okay.
Thank you, Cursed Content, for the
providing that info, because there was no way I was going to plumb that up from the depths of my memory. That's for darn sure. All right, I need to stop tweaking this picture of Moraine, but I like how this one turned out way more. Here we have cunning rogue Moraine with her blades. Ah, she's gonna get you. All right, those are my 2 postcards. So now we are on to the cards, the actual cards. We've drawn on the inside here. Now, the other 3 girls are roughly the same age, so which one of them should I draw next, Adam?
Well, Tendi should get the grand finale.
Okay.
So Chai or Jadzia. Chai, I assume you'll just have her with a workout bench and
No, Adam.
weights.
What is Chai's favorite thing to stash? What did I find under the couch?
All right. Chai working out, lifting giant potatoes.
I found one, and I was playing with Tendi yesterday under the couch.
Ribbon Quest says their comment is getting confused with CC's. I thought the 2 of you were on the same track, so I apologize.
I don't even know what's going on, so I just kind of leave it to Adam to figure that all out. Godspeed, everyone.
I'll just have another sip of one of my drinks.
Yeah, he's over there having an alcoholic beverage, so rip. All right. Let's do Chai because she was the next ferret that we got. So
Cursed Content mentions, however, yarrow is a plant.
It is.
Alright. I think I caught up on the chat, except for the list of unhinged opportunities for our last few cards. So we will, of course, 5 ferrets stacked in a trench coat. Now, did you list these in order of your preference? Is green goblin as a koala your number 1 choice here? Or is that Darcy as a pug that is your actual number 1 choice? I think my personal favorite is the Bigfoot rollerblading as Barbie, or a rollerblading Barbie Bigfoot.
You keep assuming that I can draw Bigfoot, and that is a very large assumption that you are making.
Just like, wow, I forgot his name now. Chewbacca. It's just like Chewbacca.
I'll just draw Chewbacca.
Yeah. We also have Golem as a hairless cat.
Yeah, there's a reason that these suggestions have been passed up in the past.
I mean, well, I don't think these are as hard as you're making them out to be, dear.
Do you want to draw Gollum as a hairless cat?
I mean, you just a hairless cat in a golem-like position with like a fish. We also have the addition of Medusa with ferret hair. Writing that down.
Speaking of ferrets, Adam, do we know what Tendy's favorite thing is going to be that she will be playing with?
I have some ideas.
Okay.
Yeah. This obvious. Duh. Come on, dear.
Is it?
Yeah.
Human flesh? Like,
That's a close second.
I know she goes feral for her birdie toy.
Yes. The birdie toy. That is number 1. And then human flesh is the second. Or people. Like, she does like just playing with people. Alright. MK asks, have you drawn your pets as their favorite food before? MK drew their dog as a piece of toast, and it's their favorite thing ever.
Aw, that's adorable. I have not. The ferrets really only eat like 2 things because they have a very like specialized diet. Well, 3 things if you count mush mush.
Firelight has no order for their suggestions. They just wanted to bring them back to curse your mind with them.
I am duly cursed.
Sophie from Howl's Moving Castle as a moose.
A moose. I remember that one. I do not see her as a moose. I think that would be that time I tried to draw, was it Sherlock Holmes as a goose, and we discovered that Sherlock Holmes is categorically not a goose, but we discovered it the hard way because I was trying to draw him as one.
So Firelight is persistent that she has moose energy, which I think means like slow and steady, just keeps pushing against shit and doesn't care.
I don't know. Mooses are like aggressive and scary, which is not really what I would classify Sophie as. Like, she's determined. Maybe goat energy. I could see Sophie as having goat energy, except for a goat would never clean.
Firelight suggests for your guide on how to draw Big Book is that he's basically a monkey man with a cone-shaped head.
See, that's why I don't like Bigfoot. I don't like monkeys. Monkeys are weird and freaky looking.
Kilbo Swaggins entertains us with a moose fact that moose can dive underwater in excess of 30 feet.
That is true. Moose are scary, man. I'm glad we don't have them in Wisconsin. At least not yet. You wait till climate change pushes them down here.
We have occasional moose in Wisconsin, not significant. So Firelight clarifies that Sophie has moose energy in like as in crazy, but like in a fun way.
I don't think mooses are crazy in a fun way. I think mooses are crazy in a deadly way. I don't fuck with mooses.
You just have a great fear of moose.
Well, yeah, everybody should. Everybody should have a fear of moose. Does that mean that I would not try to pet one and be immediately killed? No. But I understand why I would be immediately killed.
See, if you leave moose alone, they will leave you alone.
Sometimes.
They're giant, gentle creatures.
They're not.
When you leave them alone, they are.
Not. Sometimes they come find you and they make themselves your problem.
Every moose I have found has been a majestic beast meandering slowly down.
I'm not. It's just moose apologists over here. I'm surrounded by moose
You
apologists.
have this like crazy vendetta against moose.
I just have a healthy respect for moose. All right, here she is. It's Chai Chai. She's lifting weights. Well, she's doing bicep curls, and she's sitting on potatoes.
Oh, I wanted her lifting potato.
I couldn't get it to look like a potato.
I imagined just like the boulder
Oh, like
lift,
okay.
giant.
I wanted to get like her arm flexing though, so you get that muscle.
If you haven't caught it, commercial break on my side.
Uh-oh.
If you haven't caught it in the comments or in other videos, Chai, all of our ferrets are approximately the same size, except for Lamb. But when you pick up Chai, she feels like she's twice as heavy as any of the other ferrets.
She's dense. She's like, it's like she's working out during the day when she's in their room while everyone else is asleep.
Alright, so now we should go with Jadzia, and her favorite things are bags.
Yeah, plastic bags and
Plastic?
bubble wrap and stuff.
So I think you should have her with a plastic bag cape and bouncing off of a giant bubble wrap thing as if a trampoline, and she's trying to fly.
I do have some ideas here, similar to that.
Alright, catching up on the chat. Yeah, Zaire also agrees with me that moose are far more rad than you make them out to be, Julian.
I didn't say they weren't rad. I just don't think they have Sophie energy. I think everybody's got their energy type all wrong.
Or you're just terrified of moose.
I would still try to pet one.
Uncharacteristically terrified of moose.
I would still try to pet one.
Firelight also does not like monkeys most of the time. Then there's that 10% of the time where she hates monkeys instead of just not liking them. Tilbo Swagan mentions that Moose is the nickname of Marcus Foligno, a Minnesota hockey player. And just to clarify, Firelight is coming in Koala as the Green Goblin with a glider and pumpkin bombs. You just need a glider, and you put a koala on top of it, playing with like pumpkins.
Again, bold of you to assume I can draw a koala.
I mean, it's just a bear with a funny face.
It's the funny face that's the problem.
Hide it behind a pumpkin and stick its head into a pumpkin.
By the way, speaking of Green Goblin, did you see Willem Dafoe getting his star on the Walk of Fame? He was so happy. I love him.
Cursed Content saw a video of a crane or something pulling a moose out of a ditch. Oh, not a bird crane, the industrial crane.
Slowly getting more and more confused by that sentence.
And the guy who was helping was petting it. A comment said he's petting it because under other circumstances it would kill him.
Yep.
Zaire mentions moose are huge and brutal. Anyone who thinks they can take on a moose is far too confident for their own good. And that's the thing. It's like a lot of guys feel they could take on a bear. Yeah. I don't think I've ever met a guy who thinks they could take on a moose.
I'm certain that they exist. I should find those like shorts again. They're like, here's the list of things that like American men think that they could take on.
The fewest is probably a moose. Like, I think more men think they could take on a shark than they could take on a moose.
Rat is on the list, so.
Zaire mentions that Chai is just hench. She's slow. She's a beefcake.
She is. I don't understand why, but she is. She's like, she's doing her crunches every day, like thinking about biting humans. Oh yeah, you probably can't see it, but I gave her a little tattoo on her shoulder and it says bite. Inside of a heart.
Bite.
She lulled me into a false sense of security the other day because sometimes she comes and hangs out with me while I'm editing, and like usually she crawls onto my lap and then she plays with me a little bit and tries to climb onto my keyboard and all that stuff. But this time, apparently I wasn't paying the right kind of attention to her because she did one of her chomps, you know, she's a hard chomper. So I had to scruff her to release her from my flesh and put her back on the floor.
Firelight mentions they've seen videos of drunk white guys going up to a moose, but I think they were probably just trying to pet the moose, which is a mistake Julian would also make. So I don't think they were trying to fight a moose, unless Firelight, you want to correct me.
Honestly, the animal that I want to die petting is a rhino. I love rhinos, and they would kill me, and I want to die petting one.
Mm-hmm.
They're so cute.
All right, when you were 80, I will try to remember that.
There you go. Make sure it happens in the year that Halley's Comet comes through, for the poeticness.
Well, that's why you would be 80.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's 80 or if it's 83 or something like that.
Firelight mentions that koalas sound really weird, like gators. I am confused, but I mean, yes, they are weird, unique.
They are very unique creatures, that is for sure.
Zaire mentions that the Moose, aka Marcus Folingo, is also the player that everyone thirsts over, so don't read the comments on a photo of him around your great-grandma.
Is that the one? I'm certain, since you guys are into hockey, that you've heard of all of the shenanigans going on with Book Talk and their hockey obsession there for a hot minute, and all of that bullshit that went down. Boy, this does not look like bubble wrap at all. I apparently cannot draw bubble wrap. So they're weird.
So Kilbo has suddenly discovered and shared with the chat that William Dafoe is from Appleton, Wisconsin.
He is, yeah. Right near where I grew up. Which makes him even more my favorite. You can tell I'm ace because my favorite actors aren't the hot ones, except Tom Hiddleston, but he gets a pass. But usually I'm Michael Sheen and Willem Dafoe, the weirdos.
Cursed content says erroneously, in my opinion, that there are two kinds of people: people who have a healthy respect and fear of moose and bears, and people who are going to die early.
I have both. I am going to die early trying to pet something I shouldn't. I understand why I deserve that death.
There are videos of bears that wander into Russian towns and cities, and Russian people just going up to them and thwacking them on the nose like a dog and yelling at them and chasing them out of town.
Russians are built different. Also, every Russian I've ever met wants to die, so that's probably just part of the process.
Ribbon Quest suggests that Chai noms humans to steal their power, and that's why they're so swole.
Every time she bites me, she gets a little bit more swole.
Firelight says the stupid drunk white guys are going to harass the moose, not pet the moose. And if they're going to die petting an animal, their animal of choice would be a cheetah.
And you might be able to, because cheetahs are usually actually pretty docile, so you might be able to get away with petting a cheetah at least once without death.
It'll just claw at you in annoyance.
It might bite at you to make you go away.
Zaire agrees with you that rhinos are pretty cute. They love the nubby ears.
They're so cute. I just the tiny little eyes and the giant head. I cannot. The big, dumb animals that could and would trample or gore me to death. Sign me up.
Cursed Content agrees that cheetahs are relatively chill. And Firelight is clarifying. So I appreciate the insight because I was mildly confused that koalas make noises that sound like gator noises, which I did not know. What I did know is that there are some poor gators that got frozen in their swamps and tropical waters because of the polar vortex and the heat and the cold waves.
Oh, we love to see it. All right, here is Jedzia with her favorite things. I just went with like a piece of plastic on top because like I couldn't get it to look like bubble wrap. But then she loves the bags that the horse's treats come in. So she's got a bag of horse treats and then like a candy wrapper and like plastic wrap or something. All right, which means we are on to Tendi, and then I gotta figure out what I can tolerate drawing tonight.
Willem Dafoe as a koala with their head in a pumpkin. Head in a pumpkin. You can draw pumpkins on a glider. You need to make Firelight's Day.
What is Tendi? What is Tendi's favorite? Should we go with the birdie toy?
The birdie toy.
Oh, okay.
It's either that or like jumping at us.
Yeah, I was like, I could do her being like jumping at you. She's just so excited. She's so excited, and she just can't hide it.
So, Ribbon Quest says that the hockey thing is scary, but I don't know why fans thirsting after the booze is scary.
Okay, I guess I don't understand.
I'm trying to give her a hard time, or them a hard time, but Ribbon Quest has not clarified what specifically about hockey is scary. So it might be that all the fans thirsting after the moves. It might be something else.
The good news is that it seems like Book Talk, after they got slapped on the wrist for sexualizing people against their will.
The Book Talk hockey thing.
Yeah, the Book Talk hockey thing. So they got in trouble for that because they eventually got too horny on Maine and needed to like chill the fuck out. But now they're in trouble because bikers are their latest thing and they were sexualizing this like teenager. So basically, Romance Book Talk needs to like chill all the way out and stop, please. Like, read whatever you want, but you have to stop with this like sexualizing real people thing.
On a different topic, Firelight mentions there's a cheetah sanctuary in Africa where you can visit and help feed them. So that's a spot you can likely go to and maybe not die petting a cheetah.
Yeah.
Cursed Content asked for clarity around the hockey thing, but I think you just delivered that. Zaire cries over how badly TikTok probably butchered hockey while they're busy thirsting over hockey players.
I desperately want you to read some of those hockey books that I keep seeing, like Pucking Around. They always have fun titles. There's one where the female lead gets into a polyamorous relationship with the entire hockey team. They just all of them together. I haven't read it, by the way. I just pay a lot of attention to what's happening in the bookish world.
So Cursed Content got slapped really hard doing kitty manicures at the shelter they worked at, and they're just imagining doing that for a cheetah and getting slapped with those big paws.
You know, it has to happen. Although I think cheetah's claws are probably actually slightly more pleasant to get hit with because they're not like little bitty needles of doom.
Yes, pleasant to be hit with.
Less horrible?
Firelight saw a rhino at a zoo years ago, and it just reminded them of a giant corgi.
I think they remind me more of like pit bulls or something. Some of those real tanky breeds.
There we go. And yeah, Firelight would be more than happy with a koala with their head in a pumpkin, and you can definitely do a pumpkin, dear. You got this.
I don't understand this.
Kilbo Swaggins is entertained by how corgi genes are apparently dominant, and anytime they breed with another dog breed, it just makes a corgi version of the other dog.
Corgified. You need something short? We got here for me to do it.
So, Kilbo Swaggins, it was a specific area of book talk, not just TikTok, but book talkers that was getting too spicy and or thirsty over hockey players. And Zaire's like, book talk, you need to stop. Think of people to thirst over. Don't do that to actually humans.
Yeah, honestly, like if the roles were swapped, and it wasn't women thirsting over a guy, everyone would be horrified. So you need to cut that out.
On other topics, Firelight shares there are tons of cute picture animals crossed with corgis. They're just short mini versions of whatever the other breed was, but it's apparently not very healthy for them to be bred that way.
I imagine so.
I mean, most things that exist as a breed of pets that humans have made are generally not healthy to be that.
I forget what there's a breed of dog that's like the healthiest one that like doesn't have like a whole shit ton of genetic issues, and of course right now I can't think of it.
Is it a border collie?
No. Well, that is high-ish on the list, but it's not the like healthiest dog.
Also, Zaire refuses to read any of those pucking around type books. Their soul is withering just listening to that, and they would need to be paid to suffer for that, either in cash or snacks.
I mean, I could do the snacks because I do want to see, like, I don't want to read it myself, and all the hockey stuff would mean nothing to me, but I do want to see like how badly the hockey stuff is represented.
Firelight does mention cheetah claws aren't retractable.
Indeed.
So
they're like probably more blunt than at least more blunt than the needle claws of your average house cat. All right, this one might be my favorite. Here we have Tendy and her birdie.
She will not let go of. It's basically a fancy bird cat toy, but it was for the ferrets, and Tendy loves it and will literally get dragged around by it.
She goes fucking feral for that thing. Like the second I get it out.
Post a short of that later so everyone can see it.
I do. I have like three shorts that I need to post. It's like a pain to post shorts on YouTube. Then I need to post of like the saga of Tendy playing with her birdie toy because she is just like obsessed. All right. As much as you guys want me to, I'm really not feeling this weird pumpkin koala bullshit.
William Dafoe is a koala.
I love Willem Dafoe and do not want to defile him by making him into a koala with a pumpkin on its head. It's defilement.
All right, though, but that's the vibes of like 80% of the characters he does, though.
Yeah, but like when he does it, he somehow manages to play a koala with a pumpkin on its head with like dignity and believability.
So just put that belief, like, take a few deep breaths and harness your belief in him and put that on a postcard.
Callison, what should I draw? Save me.
I'm trying, Firelight. I'm trying.
Now we're adding a cape? I don't think the Green Goblin even has a cape.
See, you're pushing Firelight. You're pushing the details too hard. We need to push and sell the Willem Dafoe tribute part of it, and then once she's started and hooked and stuck, then we can throw in the cape and the glider.
I don't even know what animal Willem Dafoe would be. Something kind of weird, but not a koala. Definitely not a koala. They're too round, and he's very angular. Medusa with ferrets for hair. Callison, have you saved me yet?
No, they have not.
God damn it, Callison.
All right. If you're not doing Willem Dafoe, we've got 5 ferrets in a trench coat, Darcy as a pug, rollerblading Barbie Bigfoot, Golem as a hairless cat, Medusa with ferret hair, Sophie as a moose.
I feel like somebody said that Willem Dafoe would be a shoebill stork, and I'm not sure of that, but some kind of bird is definitely like convincing.
You know, Willem Dafoe doesn't get to be a cute animal very often. You should probably let him be a cute animal, Julian.
Koalas aren't cute. Koalas are freaky looking.
That's why we're putting a pumpkin on his head.
If I draw like the thing I want to draw, whichever patron gets it is not gonna understand, because this would be like deep lore.
I mean, we could try to contact Firelight to see which patron they are and send it to them.
No, I know which patron Firelight is, and I have sent them their personal postcards on multiple occasions. So they're gonna start pledging extra. They want to keep getting some. This is a joke for legal reasons. This is a joke, but pledge higher, and maybe we'll see about that koala.
I did see the suggestion of a jack-o'-lantern with ferrets climbing through the hole.
That would be a good like Halloweeny one for when it's Halloween times again.
So practice it now and do it better on Halloween.
Well, I just recently had the one with the mice. I don't know why I'm just like not feeling any of the things tonight. Come on, brain, latch on to something.
All right. How about this? Willem Dafoe as a moose.
Nigel agrees. He says, meow, 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 meow.
Have we let the prisoner out?
No, he hasn't made a poop yet.
Could do Nigel with his favorite thing, and Giorgio with her favorite thing.
What's Nigel's favorite thing?
Misery and
lying on the floor like a dying Victorian child.
Yes.
I'll draw Nigel as a dying Victorian child. I'm doing that while you guys come up with more things.
Callison suggests you could draw a koala as the Green Goblin.
Callison, you betrayed me! That's it, friendship over.
They do, Callison does mention, make sure Nigel is dying over a heating vent.
Yeah.
You've exasperated Firelight, but they are going to start. They said dump all the extra ideas here now, which I don't know if that means they're stopping with their ideas or if they're just gonna like flood us with the ideas.
Brace for impact.
Cursed Content wants Willem Dafoe with googly eyes.
Well, you can do that one yourself. Just get a picture of Willem Dafoe and put googly eyes on it.
So I don't know if this was my subconscious reading Zaire's comment or we just had it at the same time, but they also did just suggest the cats with their favorite things. KJ's brain is on the fritz, so they are not able to contribute ideas tonight.
Yeah, my brain is on the fritz too, I think. It's a brain on the fritz kind of time of year. Somebody turn me off and then on again, huh?
Mm-hmm. Giorgio could be holding a sign demanding more pets.
Should be giving a high five.
Yeah. We could do a pumpkin with googly eyes.
I just draw a pumpkin and then get 2 googly eyes and stick them on there.
Well, and then have a koala butt behind it.
Oh God. I don't think you understand what you've done activating Adam's I don't know what to call it, ADHD stubbornness meter.
I am merely advocating for your chat.
I have drawn a lot of unhinged things at the advice of Firelight. There are just perhaps some things that are the wrong kind of unhinged.
KJ claims their brain is not wanting to contribute, but then they share the second most excellent idea after Willem Dafoe as a koala, is that they can only think of a snake wearing a scarf wrapped around a mug of hot chocolate, which is just so delightful.
It is very cute. Now, I'm assuming the snake is what is wrapped around the mug of hot chocolate, not the scarf?
I had pictured that the scarf and the snake were kind of intertwined with each other and then both wrapped around the mug of hot chocolate. The snake has a full body scarf and then is trying to get warm by wearing a scarf and also snuggling a hot cup of hot chocolate. And probably also drinking from it and or trying to eat a marshmallow out of it.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6. How many do I have?
All right. So Firelight has loaded all chambers and is firing away. The Ninth Doctor as a whale shark because the Ninth Doctor needs more love.
And there's a whale shark apparently.
Or maybe as a staffy. Sleeping Beauty as a sloth. Kookaburra Birdie in space. So KJ confirms, yep, trying to drink hot chocolate and get warm because poor Danger Noodle in winter. And Zaire will send you snake photos as reference.
I already did look at many snake photos as reference when making a certain piece of art that was perhaps a Christmas present.
All right. You need to hustle up, dear. We are 2 minutes away from the hour, and
God.
I have ran out of beverages.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going slower this time. I don't know why.
It's actually faster than normal because we're normally at like 90 minutes when there's 2 left, and then you go on for like 2 hours and 15 minutes. And we're almost done with 6, and it's not even quite yet an hour. Firelight put a koala emoji in the chat, but here's a koala as reference. It is. You could just do the cute little emoji face. You could handle it. It'd be super cute.
Right now I'm trying to make Nigel look as dramatic as possible as a dying Victorian child, so.
Cursed content suggests that perhaps a cat has Michelangelo's David with a ferret instead of a fig leaf.
I mean, that is kind of the sex weasels thing a little bit. Fun fact, which probably people already know, if there's a ferret or a pet ferret or pet weasel in an old portrait, like the person is holding a ferret, that's not just their beloved pet, it's also a sexual innuendo.
Like you do.
Because people in the past were just as horny as we are today. We just keep pretending that they weren't for some reason.
Hal 9000 as a cat playing with his red light.
I'm not sure how I would get that to come across. Because Hal 9000 is just a red light. So, like, how do I make the cat be Hal?
You could make
It's
it
like a cat with one Cyclops eye or something.
blocky and cubey, and then Cyclops eyes, and it's beaming on the wall, and then it's like batting at it or jumping at it. Callison's like, what on earth? I wonder who decided. Ah, yes, weasel. That's my innuendo.
Well, they are kind of shaped like human anatomy.
All right, so ferrets are very fluid and limp and wibbly wobbly, especially when you just wake them up. They just kind of flop all over.
But as they wake up, they get stiffer.
And excited and frisky.
Look, we had to find an animal that looked a little bit like male anatomy, and the ferret was close enough.
And they do, when they're up and about and excited, they do like to bite and nibble. I wonder if it came from the ferreting game and like their just propensity to like bite on the junk. And they're like, yeah, it's just an
I don't know which
now.
came first. I don't know which came first, if it was ferrets and portraits or the ferreting, or maybe because like the ferrets and portraits obviously was rich people because they were the ones who could commission portraits, and the people who were doing the ferreting were the poor people. So I don't know.
Well, we have a new research project for Julian to uncover. Which came first? Ferreting the sport or ferrets as the sex weasel in portraits? Cursed content. Oh, horrible. Imagine being a cat chasing the light from your own eyes. Request sending people weasel pics. I mean, actual weasels, though. Yes.
I got a picture from my lady, and there's a weasel in it. Hey.
KJ, the things I could say.
So say them. Boy, I cannot draw like a even like surface for characters to sit on. He's supposed to be laying on the ground, but the ground is like horrifically slanted.
Just can angle the postcard. It'll be fine.
Yeah. If I move his leg a little bit.
Is there a weasel in your pants, or are you just happy to see me?
Both!
I'm happy because now you can help me get the weasel out of my pants. Callison suggests the next series, Weird Things Rich People Did in History. Firelight has a new suggestion as Iron Man as a frog.
Sometimes, Firelight, I want to be lit in on your brain because like I don't know like where you make these connections. Well, moving the leg didn't really work, so I'm going to give up on it. Here's Nigel as a dying Victorian child on a heat vent. If I tilt it like this, it's not quite as noticeable. I cannot draw straight lines to save my life. That's why I draw animals so much. They don't have any straight lines. All right, where did I put the cards?
Is that 6 then?
I need to double check. Oh, there they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it is 6.
So we have two
Two
more.
more.
To go. And we do have 2 more indoor pets.
I feel like I have been drawing for 1,000 years.
You have. Just not consecutive.
Nigel likes to lie on the floor and look like a corpse. And we say that he's lying there like a dying Victorian child.
That is not what cursed content was expecting, but
Actual dying Victorian child, Nigel.
Firelight, please, mother, can I have some more? The tiny cap really sells it.
It's the cap. All right. I've drawn something.
Cursed content was imagining a rich lady stretched on a chaise lounge, dying of consumption.
No, Nigel is like the child on the street, lying there on the cold, hard ground. We try to give him soft things to lay on, but sometimes he just prefers to lie upon the floor, all stretched out, so he can be as dramatic as possible.
Sire asks why he dead, though. Why is Nigel a dying Victorian child? Why?
You have to ask him.
I think it is drama, for the drama.
Yeah, he is a very dramatic boy.
All right, we've got 2 photos left, postcards left. Are you doing the Emperor?
I am doing a card. You will see what it is when I am done.
They aren't telling us. This is a surprise
This is a
card.
mystery card.
Have they finally caved and are doing Willem Dafoe? Or did they do a different one just to spite us? Stay tuned.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Oh, you are getting Firelight excited. Maybe it is the Barbie Bigfoot.
I'll never tell. Until you actually see it, at which time.
Well, you're still not telling. You're showing, not telling, as every good author should do.
Yep, that's right. Show don't tell, baby.
Why he dead, though, is what they say about Axel, their cat, when he's sprawled unmoving on the floor.
For the drama, probably the same reasons.
Ribbon, quest, chance, spite, spite, spite. Alright. Thoughts on what Julian is writing, or alternatively, we can come up with even more torturous things for her next read along, since she won't give us the Willem Dafoe we deserve.
As long as the torture is interesting torture, I'm down with it. You don't know any of the modern books that are coming out.
I can find out.
I should watch all of those. What I really should do is around this time of year, I get everybody's end of year book lists, their favorites and least favorites. And also what I get is a lot of videos of people being like, what am I looking forward to in the next year? from bookish things, and I should really look at those because that could give me a good idea of what my next read-alongs should be.
You could read Defiance, the fourth Skyward novel.
What is?
The fourth and final volume of the series that started with Skyward in 2018 comes out in November 2023, capping an already book-filled year that will see the release of all 4 secret projects. It's a Sanderson book.
Oh.
I don't think I've actually read any of that series. I'm kind of curious. I might try to pick it up now.
I could try to do a read along of Brandon Sanderson and watch all of the Brando bros come for me.
In fact, I can leak it to one of the lead Brandon bros, and he can bring all of the fanatics.
Oh God, I don't want to die.
But the extra clicks and views.
Yes, but if I'm killed, I can't keep doing the series.
But I'll collect the life insurance. I can pay someone to finish it.
Mm-hmm. Pay a lookalike. All right, here it is. Happy.
So that's not quite what we were asking for.
This is what you get. It's what you get, and you'll be happy.
I'm waiting to see a response from Firelight. I don't know if they were happy with that.
All right, what shall my final thing be?
They are laughing though.
I am hilarious.
Where's the glider though, Julian?
You have to use your imagination for it's clearly on a glider, can't you tell? It's just like really up close. You see, is why. It's just really zoomed in. Maybe the glider was the friends we made along the way.
Could revisit Eve the Awakening.
Oh, yeah, it's been such a long time. And do I even own a copy of that anymore? I might not. I don't think I do. And now you can't get new copies because she took it off of the internet. As I would if I was her.
So before I get into the chat and or distract Julian more,
yes,
we do have to come up with the 8th and final drawing. Current.
Kermit. Oh, I see. Kermie. And you love me some Kermie. What do I want to draw?
Kaylee with peanut butter. The Emperor with pets.
If I was to give Kaylee her favorite thing, it would be chocolate. We didn't say favorite thing that wouldn't kill her. Because that is her all-time favorite thing in the whole world. Probably even more than Sniffs. She likes chocolate.
Indeed.
Kaylee stuffing her face with chocolate in an ambulance on the way to the emergency room.
Golem as a hairless cat.
Hairless cats aren't fun to draw.
All right, Golem as a rotisserie chicken.
With no head.
Yes, no head.
All that makes him Golem is the loincloth. It's just a rotisserie chicken with a loincloth.
There we go. That works.
I think that's too deep of a cut. Whatever patron gets that is going to be like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Nothing wrong with us. It's Firelight.
I've already sent enough unhinged things that were Firelight's idea, and I'm surprised I have any patrons left, to be honest with you.
And just all you write on the postcard is it's Firelight's fault.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just blame Firelight. That's all that's written on there. All right, I'm going to just start drawing.
All right, so the rotisserie chicken has Golem with the loincloth, no head, and a ring on its finger slash thigh-like thing.
One of his little wings.
Oh yeah, on a wing. Yeah, ring on its wing. Yeah.
Which is not what I'm drawing, actually.
KJ was gonna suggest a Highland cow with a kilt, but they don't know how it would even wear the kilt.
It's like one of those pictures, how does a dog wear pants? Or it's like on its hind legs or like on all four of its legs.
So we just have the shaky front face of the Highland cow, and then underneath their face is the kilt. They're wearing the kilt around their neck. Blame Firelight because Firelight was brilliant.
Yes, I'm sure that's what everyone will think when they get their unhinged drawing of Layla sitting on top of Flynn's shoulders.
Indeed. You could draw an owl bear who looks so done with the world.
Owl bear who's done with the world. That's what I am. I'm an owl bear who's done with the world.
A barn owl. You could draw a barn owl.
Barn owls are cute. All right, forget everybody's like favorite dinosaur and favorite dog breed. What's everybody's favorite owl?
Favorite owl. Mine, I think, is the little tiny one with the giant head that kind of looks like a cartoon or like it is perpetually startled and scared.
Should look up types of owls so you can find out what it is.
Oh, Firelight suggests, or what is it? An owl bartender with an apron and drink shaker and everything.
Being nocturnal will come in handy as a bartender.
Firelight does mention if you have Eve on Kindle, you should have access to it. They still do.
I think I had it on Kindle. It was a very long time ago.
Kilboswaggins likes the snowy owl.
Snowy owls are pretty good.
Cursed Content enjoys the tiny owls that can swim.
Oh.
The moist owlets, if you will.
That's a knee slapper.
KJ enjoys the northern saw-whet owl.
It's a good owl. I'm a screech owl girly myself.
I've gone away from the chat to try to find my owl. I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
Adam has abandoned you all. You're on your own. Oh no.
Okay, I think what I'm thinking of is a baby burrowing owl.
Oh, I love burrowing owls too. They're adorable.
Yes. Maybe. I think so. I'm pretty sure. Baby burrowing owl. Anyways, you should all Google baby burrowing owls.
Are they very cute?
There are some very entertaining photos of that. Ribbon likes the owl from Winnie the Pooh. Zaire also enjoys the snowy owl. Basic, they know. MK is the great gray owl. They're the largest, and I think they look very fluffy.
Horned owls are pretty cool too.
Callison likes the great horned owl because the little floofs are too cute.
The floofs are very cute.
All right, so cursed content language. Oh, on the subject of owls, actually, and then they left us in suspense.
Yeah.
What's up with
And
that?
then
cursed content?
they were
Get
just
back
like,
here.
actually, and then just fucked off.
All right, here we go. Cloud Cuckoo Country did a 2-part video on the ancient solitary rain, which is super old, but also quite bad. They were more about the craft than the plot. Reading that might be an experience.
I did not understand most of that sentence.
Well, you're almost done, and you can read it yourself in just a moment.
All right, here is my final drawing where I just went rogue and drew what I wanted, but coming off of the idea of ferrets and mentioning Lord of the Rings with Gollum, I have a ferret escaping with the One Ring. There he is. He's got it. He's gone.
Indeed. All right, and this might actually have managed to be one of our shortest streams. We've not yet reached 90 minutes, and we've got 11 viewers with us. I think that was about our peak for the stream. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Now I got to show everybody all the things again. Like, we can't just close out. We got to go back through everything that was drawn. Try to go back through in order. And obviously anyone's closing thoughts and whatnot. All right, so first we have Lan in the ferret sleeping pose that they do. Then we have Moraine as a rogue with daggers. And they're out of order, so I'm just going to go out of order. We have Nigel as a dying Victorian child. We have Tendi and her birdie toy hanging from her birdie toy because she will just hang from it forever. Jadzia and her plastic bags and wrappers. Chai Chai getting swole while sitting on some potatoes. A koala pumpkin, which is very clearly on a glider. I don't know how y'all missed that. And finally, a ferret escaping with the One Ring. So those are all of the drawings this time in this very odd little postcard stream because I ran out of postcards.
Because you planned special custom cards to send out.
Yes, that's what I meant. That is what I meant to say. But all right, everyone. Anyone have any closing thoughts before I let us all get about our evening? I won't keep you.
Are you going to read their closing thoughts, or are you going to play with your phone?
Nobody has had any closing. Well, brain is not braining is a closing thought, I suppose. Which
I mean,
is
you could catch up with some of their other
relatable.
Thoughts. Brain in brain. What is brain?
Brain and brain. What is brain? Thanks for joining us, Air. Baby owls sleeping on their face is the best. Bye, Callison. Thanks for joining.
Firelight does have random thoughts on Doctor Who.
Firelight, random thoughts? That's lies is what that is. Apparently, One for Sorrow, Two for Joy by Clive Woodall is like if A Bird War was written by Alex Astor and written in 2006. Okay, I have been thinking about returning to like some favorites from like our millennial childhoods. Like, what were some hit books that were like once you go back and reread them as an adult, you're like, ooh, like feel like maybe I could figure some of those out. I wasn't reading the popular books when I was a kid because I was uncool. I have very old reviews of all of the Divergent books. So I definitely wouldn't be going in blind to the Divergent books. Those were like some of my first book reviews, I think, was the Divergent series. I did the whole thing because I am not smart. I just do the last book because that is the most bonkers one. It doesn't make any sense at all. Artemis Fowl, yeah. I remember that vaguely. Dark is Rising, I remember. I couldn't tell you anything about them, but I read them. Anybody else read Series of Unfortunate Events? That was a classic one. Of course, there's Twilight, but Twilight had been done absolutely to death.
You could do Undersea Over Stone.
I remember not particularly liking it when I was a kid, and thus not continuing the series, so maybe.
That was like probably one of the first series to get me onto reading series.
Oh dear. Baby Julian did not like Adam's first series. I had thought about the host. I think I might have had that in one of my votes like quite a while ago. I love the Black Cauldron series. I couldn't do a read along of it because it would be boring because I'd just be praising it. And everybody knows that the ones where you praise things, nobody watches. All right. Well, you guys keep thinking of those things. Keep thinking of maybe classic books from our childhoods that everybody was reading. Unfortunately, I can't do Harry Potter now because, yeah. But think about classic books that everybody was reading and like message them to me or put them in the comments, and not just the chat, but like in the comments of this or somewhere, somewhere, get it into my brain. But I think I shall let you all go now for this evening. Thank you for coming and for contributing. Chuck Tingle, I think I'm the wrong person to look at Chuck Tingle on account of his books are all horniness, and I am the opposite of that.
Don't read it for the horniness. Read it for his writing prowess.
There's only horniness.
And writing prowess.
All right. I'm going to sign off now. Good night, everybody. I will see you around.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we're gonna die.